Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Pinoy Athletics Speed Talk Sunday. Yeah, we haven't hosted a track / speed talk because I've just been overwhelmed with this last set of virtual events for the 5K, the Pinoy Athletics Talking Chinoy 5,000 meters. It's been honestly 24/7 at the moment, so I've been very stressed out with that. And honestly, with that, training programs, write-ups, etc., it's been a very jam-packed week. Obviously, I wouldn't be lying if I said that I'm really under the pump at the moment with the workload that's sort of piled on. And it's not easy to organise a virtual event. We've had, even though this time I definitely could not have done it without the help of our race partner, Mr. Stephen Newton, Talking Chinoy, who put a lot of effort into setting this up and helping explain the technicalities of running a road race event, as my expertise is sprints and to some extent a little bit in middle distance, but mainly in sprints, being qualified more as a sprint coach. So Stephen's input into organising a road running event, regarding Garmin's, regarding Strava, regarding things like like elevation, negative elevation, which I never knew about before, for road runs, which definitely has a huge effect on the road races. So I honestly learned a lot from Stephen, in regards to expanding my knowledge on, how a road run works, and what all the mechanisms that make a road run very different from a run on a track, and other considerations, as well as studying lap conversions, converting fractional times, that sort of thing. So it's been a huge yet stressful learning experience. I'd also like to take this time to thank Mr. Jerix Quintino, who basically came on board. He's an athlete, an older athlete that is on Coach Stephen Newton's program, and he came on board with his Gcash account when our Gcash account wasn't working, and he really was, very crucial to the success of this. Virtual meet, this virtual 5,000 meters. Definitely the meet would have fallen apart if, Jerix hadn't come to mine and Stephen's rescue. So we really appreciate the hard work and effort that, Jerix put in, and the amount of time he put in, sorting out the registrations, acting as a third consultant on the race, and, helping us, keep track of the times. So, yeah, we were really happy that he helped there. So I just give a shout out to some of the people who are watching at the moment. So I just like to give a special shout out to lots of people are watching tonight. I'm very delighted to see that we have a huge audience, larger than usual. I'm thinking everybody is quite excited about this virtual event and the other ones that are to come. So I'll just give a shout out to tonight's viewers. So special shout out to Nard Sandy Ibona Grencio. Special shout out to Aldrin Armenion. A special shout out to Ryan Labita, the Philippine junior record holder in the 400 meter dash. A special shout out to Angelica DePapna. A special shout out to Hobart Celeber. A special shout out to Elma Valenzuela Mendoza, and also to Louis Agawa, who joined as one of the participants in our virtual 5,000 meters, and all our other viewers. who are watching tonight, I'd like to give a special shout out to all of them. And while we're here, I'll just briefly discuss the agenda. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to be talking about a lot is Pinoy Athletics and talking Chinoy's 5,000 meter virtual event, which comes to a glorious end tonight at 11:59 p.m. Filipino time. So that basically means that after 11:59 p.m. Filipino time, all the results are final. So between now and then, which by my calculation is just under 5 hours, the athletes have the right to appeal, submit final times. But after 11:59, there is no more appeals and no more submission of final times, because it's pens and paper down, submit your results to the front of the class. And also the ink is dry at that point with the final results. There'll be no changes to them after 11:59 p.m. unless there's a very good reason. But we're moving on to our next virtual event after that. Now, unofficial, okay, shout outs to more people: Gian Capistrano, Sarah Tilly Parko. Okay, so just special announcements at the moment regarding this event is the unofficial results are available on the Pinoy Athletics website. I will be updating the final, these aren't final results, these are the unofficial results so far. So the final results will come out tomorrow. As I'm honestly not staying up, like it's already 10:20 here in Australia. I'm not staying up to 2 or 3 o'clock till 11:59 p.m. to be working. So yeah, I'll be waking up tomorrow and basically finalizing the results with Stephen and Jerix. And once, yeah, there'll be the final results. Anything submitted after 11:59 will not be accepted, whether it's an appeal or a further result. If it's submitted after 11:59, it's already past the deadline, so it will not be accepted after that point, which was clearly spelt out in the rules of the competition on the website. Special shout out to Reynold Penner as well. Okay, so update on the results so far. So we had a update before, and it has been confirmed with the other organisers of the event. I'm just checking. Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, as far as we've discussed, myself, Stephen, and Jurek to some extent, we have a further update. So incredibly, at the very, dying, not at the very twilight of this competition, when we're right at the end of this competition, special shout out to Hawi Fanaya, who joined this competition in the SEA Games duathlete bronze medalist in the mixed relays, who we interviewed the other day. Special shout out to Paui. Okay, so in the dying moments of this competition, in the men's, not the dying moments, the twilight of this competition, on the last day and almost the last hour of this meet, we have to we're announcing that Alfranci Braza again has broken his personal best. So Braza, I'm just going to say, before I say anything here, that, there's a lot of talent in the Philippines in terms of athletes, and especially during these COVID times. Some athletes in the distance have really leveled up. And in this meet, we saw, I'm just doing the count, we had 37 men entered, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the top 7 athletes all ran personal bests. But I'm just checking something that Stephen has just sent me. I'm just asking what Stephen's decision is on one athlete, because he's just advised me about number 6. So I'll have to just update you with that in a minute. But like, as of my results, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the top 7 all have new personal bests. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. In the men, we've had 14. We have had 14 out of 37 new personal bests, and on top of that, another 2 unofficial personal bests during this meet. Yeah, so good evening to you, Nads Grincio. Thanks for the greetings. So yeah, I'm just reiterating, we've had 37 entries in the men. We've had 14 personal bests and another 2 unofficial personal bests. So we've had a total of 16 personal bests out of 37 entries in this meet. So, you know, like, that's why I'm saying there's a lot of talent in the Philippines. And the thing is that these athletes have really, you know, triumphed over COVID at this meet. So special shout out to Chiso Gan, Mark Iguaquisa, men in Santa Cruz. So again, I'm just going to announce there's been a lot of talent and impressive athletes in this event, and you know, there's, having coached out in the province, there's a lot of talent out in those provinces. Having coached in Mindanao for 2 years, so in Zamboanga, there's a lot of talent out there, and the winner of and not just the winner, but every, like, you know, a lot of these athletes are really good, and you know, they could be even better. But you know, the update now is, in the twilight of this meet, he went out and he ran twice during this competition. He ran twice, and then he did even better the second time. So he's broken his PB twice during this meet, once on the track and once on the road. He went into this competition with a personal best of 15:56. The 2019 Palarong Pambansa champion in the 1500 and the 3000 meters, and one of the rising stars of Philippine men's long distance running. Who's really showing, you know, a treasure chest of athletes coming out of Iloilo at the moment. And not without saying that there's a treasure chest of athletes coming out of Mindanao and other parts of the country, which there certainly is. But, you know, one of the upcoming young athletes of Philippine athletics, just at 20 years of age, another outstanding performance. After winning Royal Anno's 10K event at the BBG Run PH event, he's now most certainly almost clinched it again. So Alfrense Braza of Iloilo came into this meet with a PB of 15:56, and he went out and he ran early in this meet on the track oval at Iloilo Sports Complex, and he took 11 seconds off his personal best set 2 years ago when he cruised to victory in the 2019 Palarong Pambansa. He ran 15 minutes 45 on the track oval at which both me and Stephen verified on the video. Then he lost the lead to Edward Flores of University of the Philippines from General Santos City, who at Coronado clocked an adjusted time of 15 minutes 30 to take the lead. However, on the last day of competition, in the last closing hours of the meet, Alfrense Braza opted to risk running again. If he ran again and he ran slower, he would have lost that 15:45 time, because if you opt to rerun, your original time gets erased. So a special shout out to Landy as well while she's here. So he ran again, and he absolutely smashed his personal best the second time around with a outstanding time of 15.03. 15.03 is like the second or third fastest time in the Philippines in the last 4 or 5 years. Sonny Wagdos clocked 14:34 at the SEA Games in 2019. Since that 2019, the 15:03 is the second fastest time in the last 3 or 4 years in the Philippines. It puts him in pretty good company. And although this was a road run and these meets are not sanctioned, the point is he's capable of doing those times. So if he's done it at this meet, if we come to competitions which are sanctioned, like the Philippine National Track and Field Championships, and I'm not sure what other meets, because he's not a UAAP athlete. He's at Western Institute of Technology, so he's a PRISA athlete, and those meets aren't really sanctioned. But if he competes at, I don't know, like the Thailand Open or an international meet, or at the TAPA sanction meet, like the weekly relays or the National Open, then he can legitimize his best performance. And if he's done it once, he'll do it again, or he'll even do better. So, yeah, I just like to acknowledge that. And also to the other athletes, Edward Flores and Mark Ruto, who also took massive performances off their personal best. I mean, Flores ran 15:30 at the track oval in Coronado, but it wasn't an easy run for him and Mark Ruto. I mean, Mark Ruto took his personal best from 16:30 to 15:55 to snag the third place, with Flores in second place, Ruto in third place, and Braza in first place. But, Flores and Ruto didn't really have a clear run at the track oval in Coronado, because it was absolutely swarmed with joggers. That it was absolutely infested with joggers. Joggers were all over the track, and they had to run in lane 2 or lane 3. Now, in a competition, there wouldn't be joggers all over the track. But if there were athletes, who, because there's a lot of people in the 5,000 meters who were basically screening or like blocking the lanes, then they would have to run wide in that situation. But of course, there's not going to be joggers on the track. So again, I'm as well as as much as El France Braza has done well during this meet, we also want to acknowledge Edward Flores and Mark Ruto for also taking massive improvements off their personal bests. And Flores is definitely a name to watch out for as well. I mean, he's probably got now, he's probably in the shape to be the fastest man in the UAAP at the moment, based on his breakthrough times and not so easy conditions at this meet. So yeah, it's just like not just the athlete, the next best athletes and all that, they're all doing really well. And I'd like to acknowledge some other people. We do have a lot of people tuning in tonight. I'm thinking this virtual meet has really kicked off something good here. So Maui Cruzin, Xavier Rosales, Natsut Etano, Jun Marcia, Alfred Pagaduan, Reynold Del Pena. Thank you, everybody. PA, shout out to John Gian Kyle Capistrano. Thanks, buddy, for tuning in. I'm just getting updates from Stephen. Unfortunately, the other two organisers of the meet had other engagements that I have to just basically represent them tonight. So if you tune into the Pinoy Athletics website, you can see all the results there at pinoyathletics.info. On the front page, it will have the Pinoy Athletics Talking Chinoy virtual 5,000 meter run unofficial results. So these are all the unofficial results. I haven't actually updated Braza's 15:03, as that came in recently, but I will be placing that up in the final results shortly. My God, there's a lot of, I am getting a lot of requests, a lot of shout outs. That's a very nice post from Sayer. I'll share it with you. He posted something which basically hits the nail on the head of what I'm actually trying to discuss. So Jerome competed in our competition, Jerome Sayer. So this is what he wrote to us. Amidst the pandemic, we are still able to take part of our role in the running community as an athlete, and very thankful to our creator who strengthens us and keeps us safe during our runs. Thank you also, Coach Roel Anno, for the free slots and for giving us the opportunity to compete ever again, if it's only through virtual runs. And to Coach Enzo Williams and the Pinoy Athletics organizers, talking Chinoy and Jerix, thank you for making it possible for us to compete again. We may not be as fast as before, but we still did our best. So a very positive message, and I'm very happy to see that, despite the fact we are going through tough times in a pandemic, there are still athletes who love the sport and, who still want to keep the sport going strong. And, as much as I said before, I couldn't have done any of this without Stephen Newton, Talking Chinoy, and Jerix, the three of us would all agree that we firmly appreciate the coaches and the athletes who supported our event and not all of the people out there who cheered them on. This is one of the positives, I guess, to come out of COVID. Despite COVID, these athletes are still fighting. They're still trying to be the best. They're still going strong, despite all the hardship and the barriers that have came about because of COVID. We're talking about not being able to go outside for a lot of time, loss of income because of lack, like work drying up with the economy. Like they may have had family members who unfortunately, were struck with this. So, it's all about, surviving through COVID and through these difficult times. I guess once we're past this, we can look back and, say that we made it through this and we persevered. Now, with the results, they're all up on the Pinoy Athletics website, unofficial, but at 11:59, that's the end of the results, and we'll be finalising the results at that point. I'll just be discussing this with Stephen and Jerix, and so the results will be announced. We also will be announcing the women's winner, the top three in the women. We'll also be announcing the most improved athlete in both the men and the women. We'll also be announcing the athletes who were the closest at guessing the correct times in the guess the time competition, and the prizes are as follows. So with our prizes, I'm not going to say the exact amounts yet, but they're at least going to be what we promised at the start. So, it's up to the organizer if they want to increase it, but to be safe, because I think in our last discussion with the other two admins, they said that the prizes will be what they originally were. So we will, our original prizes was 2,000, 1.5, and 1,000 for the top three. So what is that? That's 3, 4.5, 9. Yeah, so it was 9,000 in total prize money for the top three in the men and the women. So this competition was 150 to enter per participant. So there's 9,000 total prize. So 1,500, 2,000, 1,500, and 1,000. Now, so that's for the top three in times. So that'll be announced later. But for the men, I assure you that for the men, it's looking like 1, 2, 3 is Brazza 1503, 1530 for Edward Flores, and 1555 for Mark Ruto for the top three. Now that could change if there's any issues by 11:59. But as of now, that is the standings as of now. Of course, the results will be official by tomorrow. Okay, shout out to Marika Maravilla. All right, so then there's also prizes for I'm going to mention our sponsor because I forgot to mention them. So our sponsor is Massive Sports. They are a Philippine-based clothing sports apparel company. So we're supporting a local brand here. Honestly, they're not an Adidas, a Nike, or Mizuno or Brooks, but they're a startup company. They provide uniforms for all the UAAP athletics teams. They provide uniforms for most of the national sports associations, including they have provided the uniforms for the national track and field team. They're high quality singlets, trustworthy at a low price. Now, anybody who joined the competition of the Pinoy Athletics Talking Chinoy 5,000 meter virtual run, all the participants are entitled to a 15% discount, which includes free LBC branch delivery. So instead of paying 900 pesos, so 700 for a singlet and 200 for the delivery, you only pay 600 pesos for the singlet and the delivery. So you save 300 pesos if you avail your discount from being an athlete who competed in this event. So we're not giving away free singlets this time, but we are providing a discount, if you want to get the singlet. So, 600 pesos, it's a good price for a high quality singlet, I think at least. And the thing is, as well, is we actually are giving away some free singlets because, we have cash prize money for the top three, but we also felt we needed to award improvement. So the two athletes that improved the most will be awarded a free singlet of their choice from Massive Sports. They can either go over that Philippine design that we gave away during the 60-meter women's virtual event, which was our first and pilot virtual event. They can choose that, or they can choose from the other awesome designer singlets that are available from Massive Sports. So the most improved male and the most improved female will be entitled to that, and I'll be announcing that later. And we also held a side competition for our beloved fans, and they are entitled to a free singlet if they whoever was closest to correctly guessing the time in the men's and the time in the women's. Initially, I was going to make it whoever got the closest guess, combined for both, which was going to be one singlet, but we made it easier. We give out, instead of giving out one singlet, we're actually going to give out 2 or possibly 3, because we might have a joint winner in the women's for the closest guess. So we might be giving out 3 singlets instead of 1. Initially we're only going to give out 1, but we might be giving out 3 because we've had more people guessing, and the guesses are more accurate. And so so there's most improved athlete, that's a singlet. Most improved female athlete and male, that's 1 each. That's 2 singlets plus probably 3 for the fans for guessing the closest to the winning times. Whoever guessed those the best. So we're going to end up giving out 5 singlets here instead of 3 to the people who followed this event and to the athletes. Now, so I have a bit of a runny nose. I'm not sure why that happened all of a sudden. Oh yeah, special shout out to Nino Marayag, the former SEA Games bronze medalist in the triple jump. Jerome Sayer, who joined meet, and I'll be reading some of the comments. So I'm gonna have a look through these comments. Hi sir, watching from Kaviti City. I love running. I'm a former varsity of track and field. So this is from Norby Barney, and still do it until now. I played at the National Games twice and have been part of the De La Salle Manila Green Tractors. I hope that someone out there or a team can help me or invite me to be part of their team. I miss running and competing. Good evening to all. God bless, and more journey to explore and to run. Okay, so yeah, so Norby, yeah, it's always good. I don't know what event you're from, but you know, if you're road running, you're more than welcome to join our events or any events. You know, there's a lot of good virtual events at the moment that we can point you towards. Just stay in touch with our page, and yeah, we'll update you on that. Also to Maui Cruzan, so he's a baseball coach, American baseball coach based in the north of the country. Say hello, friend. So hello back, friend. Jerome Sierra, who I read that piece out from. Thank you, Coach Enzo Williams, for reading and appreciating my post, and congratulations for the successful events. Well, like what I said before, Jerome, the success of this event is very much because of people like you who join this event. So thank you for supporting our event and supporting the sport. And also to Nino Marayag, very long, good time friend of mine, who's a former national athlete, and now he's a coach with Hoka One, the Boar, yeah. So I'm going, yeah. So that's enough, I guess, talking about the 5,000 meter virtual run. God, this is going to probably go for 2 hours tonight. It's going to be a long one, I can tell, because I'm already at 30 minutes and I'm only talked about the first of several topics. So just keep the questions coming, keep the love flowing in. We'd love to hear from you. So yeah, I was pretty stressed, but now I'm in a pretty good mood because I've read a lot of these comments, so it actually makes me feel a bit better. Anyhow, and if you get a smile out of me, that's like, you know, really something, because I don't smile that much. Norby Barney, I played 400 meter hurdles for dash. I could run long distance. Thanks, coach. So Norby, how old are you at the moment, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, you're probably a lot younger than me looking at your photo. So, okay, I'll just go on now next to our next virtual competition, which is called the Fantasia Pinoy Athletics Meet. It's got the entries have now actually closed on the 23rd of January. And man, I'm going to tell you this. With 3 people doing the 60, doing 60 entries, we had a total of 60 entries in the Pinoy Athletics Talking Chinwe virtual 5,000 meter run. It's 37 men and 23 women. We had 60. In my first virtual event, the 60 meter dash for women, we had 16 entries and 13 of them finished. So now, I've gone from 13 to 60, and now for this Fantasia meet, which runs from the 24th to the 31st of January, and the entries actually closed yesterday. But the entries were open for about 20 days. The entries were open about 20 days. For the Fantasia Athletic Meet, I have over 100 entries, in six categories. So there's men's 60, women's 60, men's 3, women's 3, men's 1K, women's 1K. I have over 100 entries. I haven't counted them all, but like it exceeded 100. It might be 115, 113, or so, but over 100 now. Last time I checked, I saw it go over 100 in terms of the number of entries we had, and it's good to be supported by local coaches. And also the good thing is that these virtual meets for the sprint events are now more possible, because a lot of track ovals are now reopening, and through our networks of friends and coaches through Pinoy Athletics, we're able to get more athletes to join, because we have, we were very successful with our women's event. That was a smash hit. This event, I felt that this event was going to be very stressful, but we're now almost you know, time for, you know, we're almost done with this event, and it's almost done and finished, and it wasn't, you know, that bad. It actually went quite good. And, you know, even though there were disputes and issues we had to solve, timing and that sort of thing, I think that everybody was very happy that they were part of a meet. That was the main vibe I got from the outcome of this competition, is that everybody was, you know, happy at the end of the day, even though we didn't always agree with each other and see eye to eye on some issues. At the end of the day, I think that the athletes really appreciated the fact that they had a meet where they could actually get together and you know, converse with other athletes, and, you know, like, I think it was a very good vibe and a very good you know, atmosphere for the athletes in terms of this meet. I think it was a very good very good meet. And also, I'd like to thank all the coaches who joined the meet, in particular Ro Alano, who provided you know, almost 1/3 of the men for this competition. So, you know, he really made up the numbers for us, and in return, we'll be supporting his events. I just want to say that Ro Alano is having his Davao International Virtual Marathon on March the 7th. I think it's March the 7th. Ro can correct me if I'm wrong here. It was in March. And also, I'm just going to check here. There was another friend of ours, Jason Operio, who joined the meet, who's another very good athlete coming out of that treasure chest of athletes from Iloilo that I mentioned before. And he's having a virtual event called Jason Operio's 3K virtual run. And that virtual event, I'm just checking the details of you. So that's Jason Operio's virtual run. And if you want to join it, I'm not sure if he's left an email. He needs to actually leave an email, but his event will be conducted on the 19th of February at 2021 at exactly 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So you can message Jason Operio if you want to join his meet. The final entries are on the 16th of February 2021. A special shout out to a good friend of mine and a veteran of the sport and coaching, Coach Jet Gando, you know, who was the man behind Joe Marutohan and Palaro record holder, NCAA record holder, and also member now of the national team, and also the man behind originally Mr. Well, at college, you know, the man behind at San Sebastian, the man behind Mervyn Kawate, the SEA Games, many times SEA Games silver medalist. So a wealth of knowledge from good friend here, Mr. Jet Gando. Yeah, so with the Fantasia meet, we had some results in today. There was a 60 meters ran at Binyan with Jericho Eresito and a young guy I'm coaching called Japsy Nabor from Gasmarinas, with Eresito winning in 7:24 in video time and Japsy coming in second in 7:51. And then Eresito was the only one who was able to finish the 300 running 37:11. So we have a lot of very good quality athletes entered in this Fantasia meet, which is now running at the moment as the virtual 5,000 meters wraps up. You know, as soon as basically it's time for me to get a breather from this from this virtual 5,000 meter run, my head is basically pushed under the water again for this other meet. So not very long to catch my breath. So after this, I'll probably be having a well-earned rest and then just supporting other people's virtual events while I regather my focus. Now, with the virtual run, that Fantasia run, that the entries for that are unfortunately closed, so we're not taking any more entries. We've already got over 100, so it's already going to be a very difficult task running that meet. So now, you know, all the entries are up on the Pinoy Athletics website under the Fantasia meet. You can check out the extensive list of entries. I believe we had like about 24 entries in the men's 60, we had about 21 entries in the women's 60. We had, I think it was 19 entries in the men's 1,000 meters. 18 entries in the men's 1,000, women's 1,000 meters, and then, in the 300s they had about 20 entries in them. So like it's a very mass-based event, but that's sorry, a bit of an itchy back there. That's what you want. You want lots. You want quality. You want high participation and depth. Develop depth in events above all else. It's sort of like it's possible to have an elite meet and have depth still in a competition. So that was the Fantasia meet. So yeah, the details are up there. Keep an eye out on our Pinoyathletics page, because we will be posting videos up there on updates to the Fantasia meet. Fantasia meet actually really gets into swing tomorrow, but some people already submitted some performances, which I see no harm in, because if they wanted to, they wanted to get it done early, they get it done early. But lots of track ovals is now starting to open up. Pinyan's open, Remy Field's open, Malolos is open, Pagadian's open. So yeah, that's 4 there. Calapan's open, Leite's open. Nothing in Sabua, Davao's open. Coronado opened up the other day because they had a run there. So there's lots of tracks now opening up. So now it's the perfect time to enjoy the virtual meets. That's funny. I had a copyright strike against me on one of my videos because I used Mozart music. And the funny thing is that Warner Brothers Studios, they issued a copyright strike against me for using Mozart music. But the thing is that Mozart music is copyright free because the composer Mozart has been dead for more than 200 years. So therefore, once somebody's been dead that long, the music is now free. So Warner Brothers Studios released a copyright against me for using Mozart music on one of my videos, and I disputed it, and now they just withdrew the copyright, because Mozart music, it's wonderful, classical music, and very, enriching for the soul. It goes well with videos, and it's free to use. So that's why I like to use it, because it basically uplifts people. So I have Norby Barney again. Jericho Rosito is one of my college coaches way back in Uni Games. He's representing from LaSalle Green Hills. Yeah, so Jericho actually ran today, and he won the 60 and the 300 over my young athlete. Good long-time friend, Jericho, now almost 29 years of age, very experienced athlete at the national level, particularly in the 400 meters now. Mark Carlo Davis, he joined our meet as well, so shout out to him. So as I said, it's up on the 43 minute mark here. So updates. Okay, so 2 weeks ago in Vietnam, they had the Ho Chi Minh Marathon. And in the women's, there was some quite outstanding results, because a new athlete ran 2 hours 49 in the women's marathon. And the bronze medalist from the last SEA Games ran 2 hours 51. So the top two in the Ho Chi Minh Marathon in January have now exceeded the best times of SEA Games champion Christine Halasco, whose best time is 2 hours 52. They ran 49 and 51, 2 hours 49 and 2 hours 51. These two young athletes who are, I believe, 22 and 23 years of age from Vietnam. And those are going to be where they ran those performances, the 2 hours 39, the 2 hours 51. Those performances are in the same sort of temperature and environment when the SEA Games will be held. They were run in January in Vietnam. The SEA Games is in December in Vietnam. So conditions for that marathon will be the same almost as the conditions for the SEA Games. Shout out to Nolly Torre and Lakajana. If you excuse me for a minute, I will just go and grab a glass of water. I'm beginning to get a little bit husky here as I've been talking non-stop for 45 minutes. Okay, thanks for waiting by. So that was the first 3 points of my presentation. Now, meet cancellations was the next thing I was going to discuss. So, talking about competitions that have been cancelled in 2021. So, we'll start by saying that for the Olympic Games, there were rumours going around that 2021 Tokyo Olympic Games were going to be cancelled or pushed further ahead in time. That came from some major newspapers, but the IOC confirmed that that was kind of fake news and that wasn't true, and that they will push ahead with the Olympics. Now, to what capacity, whether there'll be audiences there or not, they didn't say anything about that, but they said that the Olympics will push through on July the 23rd. That came from the IOC's defense of rumours that the Olympics was going to be cancelled. Now, events that have been cancelled so far this year. So in athletics, the Asian Championships, which was originally going to be, at the end of May, that's been cancelled. The Asian Indoor and Martial Art Games has been postponed to 2022. That was originally going to be earlier in the year. And the Asian Beach Games has been postponed to 2022 as well. Now, the Philippine National Open is scheduled to be held at the end of March. So there's been no push through or cancellations on that yet. So as far as the announcements officially, the meet's still going to be pushing through at the end of March. But who knows? Okay, so I've done the meet cancellations, the Olympics 2021. Oh yeah, if you want to look at summaries of all the events which we have Philippine athletes trying to qualify in, they're all up on Pinoy Athletics as well. So it basically shows the chances and the number of athletes that have already qualified in the events which we have Philippine athletes trying to qualify in. And what the chances and the performances the athletes will have to do to qualify outright, and what sort of minimal sort of performance they'll need to make it in. Okay, thanks, York Tamayo, another upcoming young coach from Columba Laguna of Iscolar. I'll just check that I got that right. His team Iscolar Athletics. Yep. And also to Lakajana and Bailantar. 37 likes and loves tonight, or no more than that, at least. So Vincent Balasta, Xing Jingli, Rog Milenios, Rilio Singo, Indai Talai, Sorvi Visor, Pedoi Metong, K.N. Mariano. Thank you all for tuning in tonight with us. And okay, so other announcements. See my notes for other announcements. Okay, we'll just wrap this one up soon. So for other announcements, so we'll be keeping track of performances of athletes overseas, such as Eric Cray and Zion Nelson, who are competing shortly. We'd also like to say that we're going to be trying to get interviews with the two winners of our women's 60 meters. We'll be getting interviews with the athletes, like the winners, the top three from this event, this virtual pinoyathletics Talking Chinoy event. We'll be trying to get interviews with them, and also other things going on. We're also trying to secure an interview with SEA Games 110 hurdles champion Clinton Kingsley Bautista, the first ever Filipino athlete to win the gold medal at the SEA Games in the 110 hurdles. We're looking at Thursday, but due to Clinton's extensive and busy schedule with the Philippine Navy, he's not entirely sure he can fit us in, but we have requested an interview later in the week with Clinton to basically for him to share his experiences with us on his ways from his humble beginnings right up to the day he became this, much to the surprise of himself and his coaches, the first ever man to win the 110 hurdles at the SEA Games in 2019. And I'd like to say that for me was one of the best, one of the special moments for me at the SEA Games was seeing, after all those years he'd put into the sport, Clinton finally, all his hard work paying off and him being rewarded with the result he deserved in the men's 110 hurdles. Okay, so that's all I've got to say for tonight. It's been quite extensive. This usually goes for half an hour. It's probably going to go for an hour all up tops. So now I'll be taking any questions being asked by the viewers, and then be packing it up for tonight, and obviously probably getting a minimal amount of sleep again. Okay, so Norby Barney, thank you for the next live video. God bless us all. Congratulations. All good. I'll just quickly check if we've got. I'm getting bombarded with private messages. Honestly, I'm getting private messages. I'm getting probably 5 private messages every 10 minutes at this point. Maybe I'll just check to see if we've got any more questions and I'll wrap this one up. Can't believe my voice is nearly gone. Just checking, see if I've got any more questions, and I'll wrap that one up for tonight. Not sure where this video is actually being placed on the website. I'm hoping it's on the Facebook page. Oh, that's good. Okay, I think that's all the questions for tonight. So again, from Sydney, Australia. I was going to add in that I just read that the travel ban on people coming in from Australia to the Philippines ends on the 31st of January. So there's some hopeful news there, because I haven't really renewed my Philippine passport yet, so I have to travel my New Zealand passport. So, there's the news that, on the 31st of Jan, that's when the travel ban ends. So maybe sometime next year, the Enzo has landed in the Philippines again at some point, when we get to that part of the year. Anyway, again, everybody, thank you very much for your participation tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I'm afraid that's all we have time for tonight. So, Coach Enzo Williams from Australia, wishing you all like a pleasant evening. It's 11:07 here in Australia, and it's probably about 8:07 in the Philippines. All the best, and stay tuned for our next track talk, hopefully on Tuesday. Thanks, and good night. Bye.